going on, Jerome's? Finally made it to a Friday here with the Vikings Friday news dump. And again, this is like tidbits that make me laugh and interesting things. If you're looking for hard news, look somewhere else. And also, if you're watching this channel for hard news, why are you here? Anyways, first up, Kevin Seifert, who is not Carl Gershman. Who's not? ESPN Go. Rudolph says he has a mix of emotions in retirement, but will stay within arm's length of the game through calling college football on Peacock starting next month. So Rudolph had a press conference on Thursday. He's going to retire as a Viking and be honored at the game Sunday against the San Diego Superchargers. Him, Steve Jordan are the Vikings' all-time leading tight ends in numerous categories. Rudy was here for a decade and did a phenomenal work in the community. Was always a great receiver for Christian Ponder. Because remember, 2011, Ponder was the first-round pick and Rudy was the second-round pick, and that was supposed to be the battery for many years. But Rudy, both on and off the field, absolute excellence, and glad to see him get honored and get some love from US Bank Stadium on Sunday. Hopefully, someone who's going to get a lot of love on Sunday is Alexander Madison. Hopefully, it's the opposite of what happened after the Philly game. Alec Lewis, the Athletic. Vikings OC Wes Phillips this morning. We haven't lost confidence in Alexander Madison as far as CamMakers. It sounds like terminology will be similar enough that his inclusion could happen sooner rather than later. And the whole thing about the Vikings running game, it's not all on Madison. Offensive line has been very poop through injuries and ineffectiveness. Kevin OConnell hasn't necessarily called a great running game the first two games. Ty Chandler has been involved, but it's been whatever, right? And I frankly do think that they would have made the CamMakers trade even if Madison and Chandler were ripping the cover off the ball. I really do, where it's a swap of a 6th and a 7th, and it's conditional. I mean, if CamMakers rushes for less than 500 yards this year, there's no draft pick swap. So it's basically a free spot for a former second-round pick. And I think that things will get going in the running game, both Madison and Akers. And also I think CamMakers is going to be involved a lot sooner than you think. I think that you could see him getting some significant work on Sunday. And speaking of CamMakers, down in number 31. Ooh, look, I always liked 31 for a – well – 31 looks good on a running back like Jack McKinnon. It looks good on CamMakers. Also, it looks really good on like long, angular cornerbacks like Antonio Cromartie from back in the day, who we'll get to in a sec. But CamMakers, new Viking. So CamMakers went viral a couple years ago when he was part of the Rams for this tweet exchange. I want a girlfriend, man. Captain Kush decided to respond. I'm pushing 30. Never had one. Chase that money and dream, man. A girl will come along eventually. And then the CamMakers just like, with all due respect, I'm not trying to be like you, bro. Which, I mean, people get lonely. Some companionship is nice. And, Captain Kush has a good point where, pursue your dreams, be focused and dialed in. But what's the point of conquering the world if you have no one to share it with? Sort of ideal. So CamMakers, philosophizer, or maybe just lonely. I don't know. One of the two, man. Someone who's not lonely is Ivan Pace Jr. because everyone wants to be surrounding him, hugging him. Also, so Pace Jr. wore number 0 at Cincinnati last year, his 1 year with the Bearcats. And for every game that Marcus Davenport doesn't play, I feel like Pace Jr. should be allowed to wear 0. That's all, man. And I mean, after the Vikings do not resign Marcus Davenport, 100% Pace Jr. switching his number to 0, right? So a little bit of caveat emptor, baby, if you want to buy Ivan Pace Jr. Jersey this year. But 85.2 PFF grade this season, leads all rookie off-ball linebackers, and it's only going to get better because he's got great instincts for the game and the ball. I think that he's going to take over in the middle of this defense. I think that Flores is going to start unleashing him more as a pass rusher, which he needs to do, and it's going to be great, man. Also great is reunited, and it feels so good. So Kevin OConnell and Mark Sanchez were teammates together from 09 to 010. Well, Kevin OConnell was originally an 08 third-round pick by the New England Patriots. He was let go by Bill Belichick. Kevin OConnell. And then picked up by the Jets. And Sanchez, remember, Sanchez was the Sanchez coming out of USC. The fifth-round pick, number 5 overall pick in the first round of 2009. Jets traded up to go get him, and and he was going to be the guy. And they were teammates for a couple of years under Rex Ryan, so it's hilarious. Again, Kevin Seifert, who's not Carl Gershman, go. Kevin OConnell and Mark Sanchez, once teammates with the Jets, caught up before practice today. Sanchez is part of this weekend's broadcast crew. I should point out, Mark Sanchez is actually really good. He's a color commentator on Fox. Frankly, I think he's better than Romo, because I understand, like, everyone likes Romo because he's got a good personality, man, and the whole thing about him predicting the play based on, based on the formation, based on pre-snap motion, based on how the defense lined up, all that stuff. I mean, it's a great parlor trick, but it's running thin, man. And I feel like he doesn't do the work like you can tell some of the other guys do. And Mark Sanchez puts in the work, man. I actually really like him as a color commentator. And I'm sure Kevin O'Connell and Mark Sanchez are just reminiscing about the good old days. Glory days. Glory days. Someone who's not in their glory days era is the crooked Chicago Bears right now. So there's a lot of things going on with the Bears, and safety Jaquan Brisker, the pride of Penn State, decided just to, hey, stir the pot a little bit more. It's from Dov Kleeman. Bears safety Jaquan Brisker liked a tweet sharing that Stephen A. Smith called the Bears trash. The tweet said, "Let me tell you something right now. The Chicago Bears are trash. Let's just call it what it is. They are not a good organization. It's a damn shame they represent the city of Chicago. They stink." Brisker is probably keeping it as fuel to motivate the team to play better. That's what Brisker says. Like, oh, I love the motivation. I love the noise. I love all that stuff. But also, I feel like it's relatively accurate, and if you gave Jaquan Brisker some truth serum, some LSD right now, it'd be like, hey, would you like to be traded out of Chicago? He would say yes. I'm sure he would say yes right now. But yeah, things are imploding in Chicago. But also, I mean, Chicago's had a hilarious history. All right, so remember a couple years ago, well, 2021, after they traded up and drafted Justin Fields, they also signed Andy Dalton in free agency, and then they put out this hilarious tweet of Andy Dalton being QB1. Okay. And it's relevant because the Panthers, I mean, unfortunately, Bryce Young is going to be missing the Week 3 game after sustaining an injury on Monday night. So Panthers quarterback Andy Dalton is now expected to start on Seattle. So Andy Dalton to Adam Thielen. Let's go. Panthers football. Rawr. Catch the feeling, man. Something I want to catch. So I not gonna lie. So I have a lot of Vikings gear. I have a lot of just random sports gear in general. Part of it is because we do all these videos, and it's good to have fresh looks and all that stuff, as the kids say. But so what's kind of great is, so not gonna lie. Sometimes I do buy some merchandise from less than official places, I guess. We'll just put it like that. And I don't think that this is officially licensed, but this popped up on my Instagram sponsored stories. But this looks really good, man. So it's a Vikings baseball jersey, Jefferson 18. It's got the bud patch on there. It looks fan-freaking-tastic. That looks tight, man. Like, shut up and take my money. I'm all in on that one, man. And with the Vikings taking on the formerly San Diego Superchargers this weekend, reminiscing on 296, Adrian freaking Peterson back in 2007 as a rookie, setting the single-game rushing record. And I think that's a record that's going to stand for a while because you just don't have workhorse running backs like you used to, man. So Adrian, the rookie, number 7 overall pick coming out of Oklahoma, just put the bang thing on San Diego. Plus, I think he only had like 43 yards rushing in the first half. So he just went off in the second half. But just looking at this box score, Bittersweet Memories is all you're giving to me. So there's a lot of things going on here. First off, T-Jack started the game. Rest in power. And then for some reason, I don't remember. I don't know if T-Jack got hurt or if he was just benched. But Brooks Bollinger, the pride of stupid Badgers, came in. And they both did a very good job handing off to Adrian. They only attempted 22 passes in this game. But they put in Adrian's gut 30 times, 296, 9.9 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns along 64. Chester Taylor even had 60 and a touchdown. So he was like in the flex territory there. That's fantastic. But, I mean, just look at fullback Tony Richardson got a fullback dive for 4 yards. Love to see that. But just look at the receivers. So Sidney Rice, second-round pick out of South Carolina from back in the day. Robert Ferguson, former stupid Packer, Texas A&M. Chester Taylor. I think it's Akron. It's either Akron or Kent State. I can never remember. Adrian, blah, blah, blah. Vasanth. Where did Shanko go to college? Let me look that up real quick. This is a good pod. Vasante Shanko. Remember, we always called him Vasante, except then after he retired, he said it's Vasanth or something like that. Born in Birmingham, England. Ooh, Morgan State. Oh, he was a third-round pick, number 91 overall in 03 out of Morgan State by the Giants. I don't even think they have a football team anymore. Actually, they do. I'm just talking ish. But there you go. Love to see that. Morgan State is in Baltimore. They're in the MEAC. The rivalries are Howard and Towson. Let's go, man. Also, Bobby Wade. Former Bears and Titans legend Bobby Wade. It's good times. Like, not going to lie. So I don't actually have a lot of hobbies. Like, I don't play golf. I don't play pickleball, which I feel like if I play pickleball, it means that I'm just one step away from the grave, but whatever. But what I will do is just comb through random old box scores, and that's what I do all day. In fact, why don't we just do one? So we're going to go through, this is 2011. The Vikings were 2-10. The Broncos were 7-5. This is in the middle of Tebow Mania. Mall of America Field, allegedly a sellout, probably not. But, yeah, this is the first year of Leslie. Things did not go very swimmingly. Also, this was such a random game. Like, how do you score 5 in the first quarter? This is crazy, man. But you're just going through here. Let's see here. I mean, just look who scored. Mario Hagan, Rudy, Demarius, rest in power, Percy, that's Gow, Willis McGahee, and then Prater kicked like 69 field goals. I mean, the Vikings had this thing at the end, and then Prater just Pratered it. There you go. But Tebow, the powerful 10 of 15 for 202 and 2 touchdowns, 149.3 quarterback rating. That's efficient. McGahee, Lance Ball. Man, it's good times, man. The receivers, can we zoom out on this? Zoom out and enhance. So, I mean, it had to be so tough because Demaryius Thomas and Eric Decker were a hell of a receiver tandem back in the day. But this is such a stupid stat line. Demaryius Thomas, 4 for 144 and 2. Wait. So this was all chunk. Like, his long was only 42. Like, he didn't have a long of 90 or something in there. That's crazy. Decker, former Gopher, 2 for 25. That's rough, man. That's rough. For the Vikings, this is great. So Webb threw a pass. He also had a rush. He also had a target. I feel like this is a trifecta. You have a pass attempt, you have a rushing attempt, and you have a target. I mean, that's got to be rare, right? I mean, Toby Gerhart. Was Adrian hurt this game? He must have been. So Toby toting the rock, 21 for 91. Percy also getting a couple of carries in there. Ooh, Percy in fantasy, get down. Let's go. 8 for $156 and 2. Rudy with the efficient 1 for 19 and a touchdown. Devin Aromashadu blocking wide receiver extraordinaire. Lorenzo Booker, the pride of Florida State. Stephen Burton for some reason. This is great, man. And for the Vikings defense, Jared Greenway, Cedric, pride of Texas, hook 'em, baby. Henderson, Terp, Benny Sapp, Northern Iowa. Let's go. Let's go, man. EJ, man. Christian Ballard. I mean, Christian Ballard is supposed to be that dude from Iowa. He did not work out. Sanford and Son. B-Rob, another Texas, hook 'em. Larry, I love Larry Dean, man. Eric Frampton. Everson out here probably as a punt gunner or something like that. It's crazy, man. Eddie Royal. God. Again, I don't have hobbies. Like, this is literally what I do all day besides watch my kids. So that's all. Anyways, that's it. Long meandering Friday Vikings news dump, and also 2011 Vikings losing to the Broncos at the gun. Random talks. There we go. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. It's Friday after all, as well as check out the store, purpleftw.net. But until next time, Skol, production value.